Hello, everybody. It is so good to be back with you live and really pleased to be sharing with you in the next, the next few weeks, entertaining with tea. So it is hard to believe, and you'll see my trusted companion over on my right here. Dog has decided to come in and out of the shot, so be it. He likes to entertain with tea as well. So holidays are just around the corner. I know it's really hard to believe, but here we are in the middle third week of November. And as you all know, I love using tea for all kinds of things outside of just enjoying it as my comforting beverage of choice. So I love to use tea not only obviously in its clear application, but also in other applications. And we had such success with Iced TV in June that we decided to reach out to our members, our friends, and invite them to share with you all of their great ways that they like to entertain with tea. So with that, I would like to introduce my first guest, who I will first introduce and then pop her up on the screen. You'll know Rona Tison from Ito-En. Rona has been with us before. And Rona is the Executive Vice President of Corporate Relations at Ito-En North America, Japan's #1 green tea brand and the world's leading purveyor of premium and sustainably grown green tea and healthy beverages. Ito-En has received numerous awards, to include recognition as one of 50 companies changing the world by Fortune magazine for its commitment to sustainability and the revitalization of tea farm. So, hello, Rona.
Hello, Miss Shabnam. So good to see you. Happy holidays.
Well, happy holidays to you. How are you?
Fine. I think it's going to be great because it's going to get me in the spirit.
And that's what I kind of think, like once you get started with this and get everybody sort of mentally in that space, it's my favorite time of year.
Great. Well, I must say this is going to be really fun because you need energy during the holidays, right? I mean, you're bustling, you're running, you're holiday shopping. I mean, even if it's on Amazon, cooking, preparing, whatever. So you need your energy boost. So using tea and of course our matcha love, and Ito-En obviously has a line of great green teas, but we'll introduce how you can kind of enjoy them during the holidays. So I'm going to do these great little energy bites. So these are great to prepare ahead of time. So it'll get you all through the holidays.
I love energy bites. So
Good.
I will make them and I'll pop them in the fridge for especially this time of year, or if I go out for a run and I come back and I just need something really quick in my mouth, they're ideal.
Yeah, these are fun, and they're also make great gifts too. So for yourself, have in your refrigerator if you want, and give them out to holiday gifts or at your little parties. So it's
I guess you're right. Simple. I could give them away as well. Never thought of that.
Yeah, why not? You got to have your friends have energy too, right? But it's really great. I just noticed my cabinet's on. I'm going to close that little cabinet there. So you got to do the details there. But no, it's so simple. I mean, almost embarrassed to say, but
simple as
everything. Good. All the ingredients are nutritious. They're fiber. I mean, obviously we know green tea is very high in antioxidants, the EGCG. And what's great is it has that natural caffeine. Green tea matcha, but it has that L-theanine. So it gives you kind of that energy, but with a sense of calm.
Yeah.
So it'll keep you very kind of stable during the holidays as you're bustling about. And of course, it has the ingredients of dates. It has chia seeds, almond butter, creamy almond butter. And you can also, during the holidays, I like to add a little cranberry in terms of garnish and all that.
Nice.
So very simple. So I'm going to show you. I have a little setup, and then, you need your energy bites, but you also need to enjoy, you need to hydrate as well. And of course, Ito-En, we love our ready to drink. So I'll share that with you. We have our green teas and jasmine. So great to serve, in a wine glass with a little fruit garnish or something. as you're enjoying your energy bite. So I'm going to take you through, and I hope you'll see. I've got everything back here. I might have to let me just move this here. So I kind of had everything prepped ahead of time. So very simple. I mean, you're going to put in a food processor or blender ahead of time the dates. That's going to kind of be the base. And if your dates are dry, you should soak them ahead of time, like 5 minutes in hot water and drain it. So it's a little bit more pliable and easier to softer. So you put the dates, and that's a cup. That's super easy. Then, of course, you add your oats, enrolled oats for you. With the almond butter and the oats, it really helps bring your HDL, your high cholesterol down. So it's all beneficial.
Can you just let us know what kind of oats you're using? Are they quick oats?
I'm using quick oats just because I feel like just in case.
Yeah.
And some people can use, steel oats, steel cut oats if you like. And also, so this is the almond butter creamy, not chunky.
Okay.
And I usually sort of heat it up a little bit just to make it a little bit easier to get, because you know how peanut butter is kind of hard to so I kind of warm it up just a little bit, and I pour the peanut butter in there.
So I love that you're using dates. Dates is something that I've discovered recently. I always love eating dates just straight, but to use it as an alternative for a sweetener is, I think, something that, people tend not to think about. But it's a really good, effective way if you don't want to, use sugar. But also if you don't want to use honey.
It's a natural sweetener.
It's fabulous.
And they're delicious. Yeah. So then we have our chia seeds, okay? And chia seeds are good for omega, as well as it helps also with your HDL. It's amazing how all these ingredients have, including antioxidants on many of them. So, added with our matcha, it's like you're really getting a full, nutritious, little healthy energy bar. And then, of course, you have to add the matcha.
Yep.
So I went ahead and I just measured it ahead of time. And then a little bit of, just like a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, if you want. And then just a little pinch of sea salt.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is going to be kind of tricky because, and if it gets difficult to kind of blend, you can add a little bit of hot water.
Okay.
So, and because of time, I'm not going to go through making every single 12 little energy balls. Yeah, you kind of sometimes have to kind of mix it up a little bit. And I do add sometimes the little bit of water.
Right.
Water just to kind of
loosen it up.
Yeah. So I'm going to add a little hot water to that, just a little, like you said, it makes it easier to make your little balls, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get the idea.
Yep.
And so I'm going to show you when I take it out of the blender, it comes out like a nice little, kind of like a little dough.
Yeah. Okay.
And you roll them into a little ball, which is super, obviously. It's so easy. I mean,
it
doesn't take a rocket scientist to do this. So you have your little energy ball, and I will show you the final. What's great is, here, take a look. So this is
beautiful.
Can you see right here? So what I did is with the energy ball, I chopped some cranberries.
Oh, nice.
Golden cranberries.
Nice.
And then, of course, with the sifter, put a little matcha on there for the others, and then garnish it with a little cranberry if you want them at, you know, a party or something.
Yeah.
And I just kind of made it festive with cranberries and a little green.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, you know, this is going to get you through the forge ahead with the holidays. But also, let's not forget, you know, Ito-en, what we do well is our great, amazing unsweetened teas. So we have our jasmine tea and we have our green teas. And I have to tell you, they're excellent for holiday entertaining because, you know, some people may not want spirits or alcoholic beverages. So it's great to put in a wine glass. The jasmine, it's very
love that.
refreshing. You can garnish it with, you know, here's a little
love
orange with a blueberry. You can also with cranberries. I did some with strawberries. And, you know, if you want to do a holiday red and green, it would be the strawberry and the kiwi. So, you know, it's put a little ice in there. It's so refreshing and clean. And with the green tea as well. So, you know, I think it's just a very, I mean, you can indulge in your sweets, but with your unsweetened green tea. And of course, what we know, green tea has all the great, you know, health benefits as well.
Yeah.
And of course, hot tea, you know.
Well, there's always hot tea, but you know what? Hot tea is the obvious one. And obviously, please drink your hot teas. But, you know, I think it's always important for us to, you know, show people alternatives, you know, different ways that you can use besides what, you know, we traditionally do. The energy bites, love those. I have not done them with green tea before. I haven't done it with a matcha, but I will definitely be adding that to my list. Excellent. I have to admit, the first time I had an energy bite, I had to get past that mental block of they're so tasty that you think they're actually bad for you, right? Yes. But they're not, because especially when you make one yourself, you know exactly what's gone into it and you know it's so good for you. But it's like popping a piece of candy in your mouth, a really, really healthy candy.
Right, exactly.
But with the jasmine that you just put into the wine glass, I love that because there are so many people, as you just said, that are avoiding alcohol, whatever the reasons are, it doesn't matter. And you still allow them to partake in a festive, beautiful drink without any of the alcohol. So I love that.
On that. No, absolutely. And, you know, we want everybody to stay healthy.
Yep.
And, you know, the holidays and enjoy time with family and friends. And so we hope that, you know, these little simple ideas, and we have the large bottles too, which are great for, you know, family and big gatherings. So you can put that in a big ice bucket.
Perfect.
In fact, you know, I used to live in the wine country. I remember I was in Sonoma, and I used to take these as house, you know, for guests instead of bottle of wine, and they loved it because, you know, everybody brings wine, but why not take a couple of bottles of jasmine green? So yes, I think that energy bites in one hand, jasmine tea in the other, and you're set for the holidays.
Seriously. Well, thank you, Rona, for some fabulous tips.
Always a pleasure, Ms. Shabna. Thank you. And, you know, stay safe. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday. And the recipe is actually on www.itoen.com. If you look under recipes, we have an array of great recipes. But I thought this was kind of a fun thing to do.
I love this one. For everybody watching, we'll also be listing all of the recipes underneath the actual video clip on YouTube.
That's right. So thank you.
You can always check in there as well. All right. Well, thank you, Rona. Happy holidays to you.
Thank you. And here's to more tea.
Here's to more tea.
Yes.
Cheers. I wish I had one to raise with you.
I know. I just have my little jasmine glass here, but I'll have to enjoy it by myself here.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Rona.
Safe.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Well, some fabulous, great ideas from Rona at Ito-en, Energy Bites, Matcha Energy Bites. And remember these things of using tea, your favorite teas, whatever they may be, and serving them in perhaps a different vessel. If you're going to do something chilled, if you're going to do an iced tea of some sort, I know it's cold outside, but you can still do iced teas. Use different vessels, use wine glasses, use cocktail glasses, use martini glasses, those types of things, just to make it a little bit special, especially for the holidays. So with that, I would like to introduce my second guest. My second guest is Tara Sorab of Teascapes by Taralight. She is an online retailer and a self-employed graphic designer who created and designed the company's primary product, tea cards, which we'll talk about in a moment. Tara is looking to continuously expand the selection of both tea cards and teas, hoping to help bring love, inspiration, comfort, and joy to anyone receiving them. So with that, welcome, Tara. How are you?
Hi, Shabnam. How are you?
I'm really good. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
So, Tara, let's start with what you've got on the counter there, tea cards, because what you're doing is really, really interesting, especially as we're going into the holidays, right? Everybody's sending cards, or either sending cards or attaching cards to gifts, whatever they may be, and you're doing something really, really cool with tea and greeting cards. So tell everybody what you're doing.
Sure, thank you. So total disclosure, I can barely hear you on my phone, so if I have to say pardon me, you'll know why. It's not working too well. But I just wanted to introduce you to the tea cards that I have, and I've come up with 2 holiday cards. Plus, I've got about 8 others for various occasions. It was just an idea that I came up with a couple of years ago, and I just developed it from that. And I think with everything that's happened the last 2 years, especially, we need something like this more than ever. When I think about tea, I think it's the closest beverage you can get to a hug, to be honest. So that's the way I look at it. And I think anyone receiving it, sorry?
Love that.
And anyone receiving them, I would hopefully feel the same way as well. Just the thought that's gone into giving that type of greeting card.
So can you pick one up and show us? So
yes,
it's a
absolutely.
greeting card that comes with a sample of tea, right?
Yes, it's got a sample of tea. I'm going to actually have one here. So this is what they would receive. They would come in an envelope, a matching envelope with the card. And you would take it out, and then you just open it up. There's just a very generic message related to the actual theme of the card in here. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
There's reflection. And what they would do is just open it up and pull it out. And that's their tea card.
Beautiful.
And it's got I'll be honest, this is one of the older ones, but I've got new ones with labels on there that tells you exactly what you're getting, because you're actually getting 2 cups out of each pouch.
What a lovely, lovely thing to receive in the mail. Hint, nudge, nudge to everybody out there. Wouldn't you love to get one of these in the mail? I would.
I hope so. I think, like I said, we just need a little bit more kindness in the world right now, a little bit of softness in the world. I don't know about you, but I love virtual stuff. It's so convenient, but there's a bit of an exhaustion out there as well, and fatigue with virtual.
Totally agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, wonderful. So with that, you have also created for us a cocktail.
Yes,
or
I have.
Sparkler, I believe is what you're making. So tell us what you're doing.
Okay, so it is called the Orchard Sparkler, and it is using one of my teas, which is a spiced orchard chai. Okay. So I have actually a sample of the tea. Try not to get this in the way. This is it here, and I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you could.
There, now we can see it. Nice.
You can't really tell, but there are so many luxury ingredients in there. You've got fruit. You've got the cranberries, strawberries, pieces. You've got black currants, blackberry leaves, hibiscus. And on top of that, they've added a layer of cardamom, cinnamon, and clove. So it's a really nice combination. It gives a bit of tartness, but you also got a bit of that spice. And having said that, I actually discovered this by accident because I brewed a cup for myself. I walked away, I came back, and the tea had cooled down. So I was going to heat it up, and when I did, I just tasted to see how much I needed to heat it. I'm like, you know what, this can make a really great cocktail.
Nice.
So what I wanted to do is actually keep the integrity of the actual tea And so I'm only using one ingredient for this cocktail that's going to help hopefully enhance the flavor and make it a little bit more holiday.
Great.
So I will get started. So what we're going to first do is I have my glass over here. If you can see that. I'm just taking a few cranberries. This is for decoration. These are iced frozen cranberries. So I would just take a tablespoon of that and throw that in here like that.
Clever. Okay, so I'm going to pause you there because that's really clever. So I do that. I freeze cranberries and I use it for decoration, but that's such a great tip to freeze your cranberries and use that to actually chill down what you're making because it won't dilute what you've got in there.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that. Sorry.
No, I was saying that it's a really great tip because it won't dilute the cocktail that you're making.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes, yes. No ice in this at all. And also, you can actually do this with a champagne glass, or not a champagne. I would actually say like a flute glass. But I prefer an old-fashioned or something that's kind of base, especially at a party, and especially wearing sleeves like this. It's just easier to have something that's just solid down, so it's not going to spill.
Nice.
Okay. So what I'm going to do that's going to actually add a bit of the sparkle in here is to take some frozen cranberries that have been thawed a little bit. So I've just got a few here. And I'm just making one glass. So take about 3 or 4 and put them in your cocktail shaker. And what you're going to do is just muddle it. So you're just going to take, I don't know if I can show you here really quickly if you've never muddled. You just kind of basically take it, you break up the cranberries just a little bit. So I'm just going to do that. Don't overdo it because that will make it bitter. Okay, so I think I've got every single cranberry in there and squash it up. Now what you're going to do is add some ice. Just do it like this. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is add the ingredient that I find is going to enhance the flavor of the tea, and that would be amaretto.
Great.
The tea doesn't have that much sweetener to it, so this is going to be what's going to sweeten it up. What I would suggest is doing about 3/4 ounce to 1 ounce, depending on the flavor that you like, the sweetness. You don't want to overpower it with the amaretto flavor. So I'm actually going to do 3/4 ounce.
So for those of the viewers that are watching, amaretto is it's an almond liqueur. So what's happening here is there's going to be this added almond flavor that's going to be part of the tea, which I imagine is going to complement it really nicely based on the name Orchard.
Yes, yeah. With the ingredients, it turns out really well. And I'll show you what I did. And actually what I didn't mention is before this, all of this, the day before actually, you've got to brew your tea.
Right, yes.
So take the tea, you basically brew it. I brewed it for about, I made about 3 cups. And I used 3 heaping teaspoons of the tea. And I steeped it for about 15 to 20 minutes. I actually didn't think that would be too long. There is some black tea in there too, but it's not that much black tea that you're going to get an estrogen over aftertaste.
Okay.
So I will show you. This is my tea that I brewed.
Great.
And it's actually pretty colorful the way it is as well. It's very festive. I just love the color that comes out of it, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put 4 ounces of the iced tea. And I chilled this overnight, basically. Okay. About 4 ounces. So there we go. And I wouldn't shake it, to be honest. I would actually just give it a stir.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that because what you find when you shake, which you're going to get a lot of frothy bubbles.
Right.
When you shake it up. So you're just better giving it a very light stir. There you go. And then with the chilled iced tea plus the ice, you've got a great time to strain it into a glass.
Beautiful.
And that's how it comes out. What you can do as well as an option would be to add a splash of club soda.
Oh, fun.
mine without this. So basically when I call it the sparkler, it's for the cranberries, the tartness from the cranberries. And if you want a little extra sparkle, just a little bit of club soda.
Oh, that's a great idea. I love that. Okay, so super, super simple.
Yes.
We're making the tea the day before because we want to chill it down. You didn't sweeten it. And then we're stirring that in with the amaretto because the amaretto is going to give it that sweetness. I mean, how much easier does it get than that?
Very simple. And again, my goal was to actually keep the integrity of the flavor of the tea because it's such an amazing tea to entertain with or drink hot.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Pardon me? Sorry.
So you could even do that as a hot tea cocktail, right? I mean, you could do the hot tea with a shot of amaretto in it. That would be
absolutely,
quite
absolutely, yes.
Nice,
and
wonderful.
Thank you. And if you want to get a little bit more festive, if they're they're going to drink it right away, I would just add a little bit of rosemary.
Nice.
A little bit of green.
That's a fun addition. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Tara. It was so good to see you.
Thank you,
for those of you watching, I hope that you check out Tara's cards because they are such a fun idea to, well, not only for the holidays, but as she said, to send somebody a hug in an envelope. What nicer way to say you're actually thinking and care about somebody. Thanks, Tara. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Shabnam. Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas. And cheers to a much better 2022 after everything we've gone through. So here's hoping it's successful for everybody and it makes everybody happy after what we've gone through.
I can definitely cheers to that. Thanks, Tara.
Okay. Thank you, Shabnam.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, take care. Bye.
All right. Well, fun. And I love that Tara has used amaretto because amaretto is one of those liqueurs that not a lot of people tend to use. We tend to gravitate towards, wine and bubbles, especially when we're combining cocktails, or vodka and rum and gin. But amaretto is one of these liqueurs that I think is kind of one of these unsung heroes because it adds a whole other layer of flavor to what it is that you're doing. And if you've got a tea that's got those complementary flavors like apple and cinnamon and sort of these fall, winter, holiday flavors, it's such a great combination. I think amaretto would be really delicious with a chai as well. Something I might do tonight. All right, so with that, I am very pleased to introduce my next guest. Katie Sear founded Monarch Tea Company in late 2013 with the vision of bringing together the traditional eloquence of tea time with a modern twist. Katie is a certified TAC tea sommelier professional and loves offering hands-on tea talks to others. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Shab. How are you? Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. It's nice to see you again.
Hey, so good to see you too, and thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you for joining us.
Oh, I'm excited.
Some of you may know Katie from a tea and chocolate pairing that she did for us a while back. I'm going to have to get you on again to do that.
Oh, I'd love that. And then our mixology in the summer, we had the cocktail class and the iced tea making class.
Oh, yes, that's right. Of course, absolutely. Iced TV, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Katie, you are going to do something a little bit different. And I think this is really exciting. So, you're going to make for us a sugar scrub.
Yes.
And we talk about all these ways to ingest tea, but you're going to show us not only a take care of yourself gift, so a gift to yourself, but I think something really special and wonderful if you want to create gifts to give away for the holidays. So take it away and tell us what you're doing.
Amazing. Thank you, Shabnam. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Katie, and I'm so excited to be here today. So as Shabnam mentioned, of course, we all love tea here and we love to drink it. But there are also so many other ways we are seeing tea being used in skincare, chocolate infused in tea and cocktails. So what I really love is finding tea in unique things such as sugar scrubs, soaps, candles, seeing tea being used in different ways to bring out natural flavor profiles. So I'm really excited to share with you today a Earl Grey sugar scrub. And this is something I actually have seen other local artisans do, and I even sell one on my website, but I started realizing how easy it is to make at home. And if you do a quick Google search, I'm surprised to see sugar scrubs are going anywhere from $20 to $45 at local pharmacies and health and beauty stores. But what's really cool is it's so easy to make at home for yourself. It'll last a few months, and you can even give it as gifts to others. And I just love that there's a little bit of a story behind it. So I'm going to show folks today how to make one with my personal favorite tea, cream Earl Grey, but you can use whatever you have at home. So if you have a chai or maybe a special sencha or green tea, you can use whatever kind of catches your eye. I do find I really love like the flavored black teas for this, just with the visual appeal, which you'll see shortly. But as always, follow your nose and go with what feels right to you. The recipe will be posted for today, but just so folks know, we want to have ideally an 8-ounce jar. You can go to the dollar store and find some clever jars if you're gifting, but if you're using it for yourself, whatever you have at home, or maybe you want to find something special to package it in, so just have a jar nearby. We're going to need half a cup of sugar. And I'll talk more about sugar shortly. This one we're doing kind of a hand, body, and you could also use it as a lip scrub. So different sugars are good for different areas of the body. As always, if you're sensitive, you can always test on a small area first before slathering yourself. So if you have sensitive skin, maybe just try on the inside of the wrist. You can use really fine sugar for the face. You can use kind of a regular sugar, which we're doing today, for hands and lips. And you can use a coarse or raw sugar for feet because they're a little tougher. If you really want to do a nice foot scrub when you're doing an at-home pedicure, that's a great technique as well. So I'm just using regular white sugar that I had in the kitchen.
Okay.
This part's optional, but if you have an essential oil at home, I just have some nice lavender essential oil. So that's an option. And then, of course, our tea. We're going to be needing a tablespoon of our tea. I'm doing the cream Earl Grey today. So this is a Sri Lankan black tea with a natural vanilla extract to it. Of course, feel free to use whatever you have at home. I'm going to show folks shortly, we can either grind this with a mortar and pestle to make it even smaller or use loose leaf. Okay. And then we're going to need about a quarter cup of coconut oil. Now, mine was hard, so you actually want to just microwave it at 15-second intervals just till it becomes liquid. So keep an eye why we do 15-second intervals. I don't want to put it in for a minute and walk away because it could just explode depending on the heat of the microwave. So I did 15 seconds, take a look, do another 15 seconds, just till it's in liquid form.
Okay.
Really simple. We have our sugar, lavender essential oil, cream Earl Grey, coconut oil, and then about a tablespoon of lavender buds. This is also optional, but if you have any lavender kicking around, just dried, is perfect.
Perfect, okay.
And then a bowl to mix it in, and then the option of a mortar and pestle. So now that we're all ready, we're going to add our sugar right into the bowl. And then I'm going to use a mortar and pestle. Okay. So this is just optional for folks if you have one at home for cooking or baking. You can actually add your tablespoon of lavender and tablespoon of tea of choice, in this case, the cream Earl Grey, right into the mortar and pestle. And it's a little harder for folks to see here, but I'm just going to gentle motions. And when you actually grind it down, you want to use the weight to kind of crush the lavender petals, and it's going to start releasing some beautiful essential oil compounds. So already this smells absolutely heavenly. And it's interesting because we do see some Earl Greys on the market that also have lavender already added in. So that might even be one you have in your cupboard to make it even easier. So I'm just kind of gently crushing it until I see fit, completely personal preference. Folks might be able to see a little bit here. It's nicely mixed up. So I'm going to add that right to my sugar.
Mm-hmm. Does it matter how fine you grind down the lavender and the tea, Katie?
It's personal preference. So I made this earlier today and I just used the whole tea and whole lavender. I didn't mix it. It still looked lovely. It was just a little bit coarser of a texture. When I grind it, it just makes the Earl Grey even smaller and the lavender just release even more essential oil compounds. So I do find if you want an extra fragrant scrub, which I personally like, the grinding does help a little bit. You could also use a food processor. I saw someone mention online when they were talking about making sugar scrubs, they were using a coffee grinder. Of course, you can only use it for this or you're baking and not use your coffee with that after, because the essential oils from the lavender can really linger. So you don't want that to stay on there.
Yeah.
So now I have my lavender, Earl Grey, and sugar all in a little bowl. I'm just going to simply mix it with a spoon until you see fit. So it's going to just start making a really beautifully. It's hard to kind of see on here, but just start looking really, really pretty. And it smells amazing. It almost makes me want to make shortbread. Yes. So that is going on there. Now on the side, I have my melted coconut oil kind of floating around here. And I'm just going to add 5 to 10 drops of lavender essential oil. Now with essential oils, they're always a little bit stronger. So you always want to start small. You can always add more flavor or scent later. So I'm just going to add like 4 drops. 3, 4. And that's kind of coming out there. This is a nice organic lavender essential oil. So really nice for skincare as well.
So important I think to point out that you're adding that to the liquid.
Yes.
And not to the other mixture because you want even distribution.
Exactly. Yes. Amazing, Shabnam. You're well on your way to becoming a skincare expert. This is awesome.
I had a side gig going.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I also was experimenting earlier by adding the lavender to the dried version, but I just found it would kind of almost like picture snow. If I'm adding like a lavender drop into snow, it's just going to sit in that one area of the snow and not everywhere. So by mixing it in the liquid, I'm able to just kind of mix it together. You can use a spoon or just kind of shake your bowl together. So I have that mixed up. So I have my coconut and lavender. I have my sugar scrub over here. Now I'm going to add the coconut oil right into the bowl with all my other goodies in here. And I'm just going to use a spoon to start kind of mixing it all up. Just almost like I'm baking and I'm starting to add my ingredients to my dry ingredients. And it's going to start kind of clumping together. That is completely normal. That's really how it should look. We want a nice mixture where it's not too liquidy but not too thick. And then from there, once I've mixed it to my desired consistency, you can then put that into your little jar. And if you're giving this as a gift, you could even tie it with like a cute little ribbon or put a little note card. So I've just kind of firmly packed it into my jar. Put my little lid on top. You want it to seal tightly. If I've left this kind of open in the cupboard, it can dry out a little bit. So I want it to just be nice and sealed. Now, when I'm ready to use this, or if you're giving this as a gift and you want to let the recipient know, you can just mix a little bit of water on your hand, not inside the package, just a little bit on your hand. Scoop a little bit out and then either gently use a little bit on the lips. Earlier today, I actually was using some right on the hand, so I started mixing it right onto my hands and then just use a little bit of warm water to rinse everything off. It leaves your hands feeling silky smooth. The sugar kind of acts as a natural exfoliant, so it'll help remove any dead skin. The coconut kind of almost stays behind and leaves a super softening feeling on the hands. And then I just pat dry with a towel or paper towel. And there's actually still a lingering scent of spray and lavender on my hands. This will last a couple months, just tightly sealed. As always, though, if you're sensitive, as I mentioned earlier, test on a small area. Especially with the coarser sugars, we don't want to be using that directly on the face because it can be a little intense, but hands, feet, and lips, this is a wonderful all-natural sugar scrub for easy holiday gifting or as a little fun project for yourself.
I love that. That's really, really great tip. So you would store it not in the fridge, you would store it just on the counter, right?
Counter, yep. I just leave mine like under my bathroom counter. So when I'm, getting ready at night, I like to do this on hands and lips just after, especially with the colder weather now. So yep, just regular, cool, and dry area.
And tell me, Katie, what other teas have you used besides the...
Oh my gosh, I've just experimented with different black ones. So I did use a chai. Now, of course, we know the chai with the spices, those can be a little bit more stimulating. So if you're going to use a chai for folks at home, I'd say even for the feet might be nice. For the hands, it actually, when I was experimenting, it kind of made my hands just a little bit red. I think some of the cinnamon and ginger was a bit too stimulating for like more sensitive areas. So really nice on the feet though. So that was fun. I also had like a coconut black tea. So I was experimenting with that. So it was just fun to get some of those really nice tea scents out there. Things like green tea I found were a little more subtle. So for those folks that maybe don't want something super scented and just want the exfoliating properties, you just have the green tea in there or maybe even a white tea. It's just not going to be as fragrant. Same with your oils. I would stay away from citrus-based oils because those can also be a little intense for the skin. But things like lavender, maybe a little bit of lemongrass, those can be really, really nice and have a gentle scent to them.
Have you done anything with herbals, like botanicals?
I haven't yet, but that would get me thinking. My mind immediately went to chamomile. I could see being very soothing. Do you have?
So when you said stimulating and as a foot scrub, my mind immediately went to peppermint.
Peppermint, yes. because I've seen like really nice peppermint foot lotions. So I could picture peppermint being super cooling.
Yeah.
Especially for those folks who are on their feet all day. That might even be something nice to do at night and kind of just help after, help relieve some tension in the feet as well. Ooh, I can see that. Even like I could picture kind of calling it like a peppermint twist foot balm or something if you're making that as a scrub, or even mixing a peppermint and black tea together. That could be fun. Or even adding cacao nibs. I feel like the possibility.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's
interesting.
One. So, you can either apply it or eat it.
Right, I know. And that is, I mean, I don't recommend it, but I did
Not
taste
the essential oil, maybe. But
that's what I love when you're using just things around the cupboard or in the kitchen. It's like if you are doing a sugar scrub and you got a little bit in your mouth while you're exfoliating your lips, it's okay. It's really just some sugar and coconut. And tea leaves.
and tea leaves. And what could be better than that?
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
Great tips, Katie. I really like the tip also of the different types of sugars, and that's something that I actually have never thought about that before, because I would think of just regular sugar. But using a coarser sugar for different parts of your body totally makes sense.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this: have you ever done tea with bath salt?
Funny enough, no. But when we were talking, I thought about what about a foot soak using tea as well, or herbal tisons. And I could picture even it being used in bath bombs, because we're seeing some very beautiful visual bath bombs out. That being said, I did just collaborate with a Canadian soap maker from Waterville, Nova Scotia. Her name's Henna the Woods, and we now do a tea-infused soap. So we have one chai and another one called London Fog, and so she's actually infused the tea right into the soap making process. And then on the top of the soap, she's used my tea as a garnish.
Right.
And just like now we're seeing bath bombs online and soaps that just have a very beautiful, not only do they smell delicious and work well, but have a visual appeal to them. So the tea-infused soaps have been doing really, really well. I think we're starting to see more folks looking for ways to bring tea into their life, not just for drinking, as we mentioned earlier, but cocktails or candles or soap. So it's fun to see all the different ways we can experiment with it.
And just a great way just to add another layer of self-care to what it is that we do, right? So with the bath salts, I mean, I would imagine it would be very similar to what you've done with the scrub, except that you would simply replace the sugar with a salt.
An Epsom salt. Yeah, I can actually, and you can still add some essential oils to it to blend it in. You could also use herbal tisons such as lavender or rose petals, and then mix that right in with the Epsom salt. And then once again, finding cute packaging that you can just bag it and then gift to others. I love that. Oh, I think we're so inspired now. We're immediately.
I know. I'm like, your brain starts.
I know. As soon as you start talking, you're to other folks, especially, you're like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
Run with it. Well, thank you, Katie. It's always lovely to see you. Do you have plans for the holidays?
Oh my gosh, family is just starting to make one now. So I think we have like 3 or 4 different family dinners now to go to, and a Secret Santa. So now I think some of my family will know what they're getting for Christmas now.
Yeah, I won't tell.
Oh my God.
It's so nice to see you, and it's so nice to, I think this year, to hear people actually starting to make plans with their
families.
Oh, that's very right.
To know it's like allowed. It's like, oh, I can't wait.
Yes. Yeah. It's I think it's going to be a special holiday season for everybody. So, thanks, Katie. Always good to see you.
Thanks for having me, and happy scrubbing.
I'm definitely going to be making one of these. Thanks, Katie.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye. All right. Well, we've done energy bites with Rona. We've done a cocktail with Tara, and now we've done some self-care scrub with Katie. So before we get to our next guest, I am going to share one of my favorite ways of entertaining with tea, and that's usually going to be with some kind of a cocktail of sorts. There's so many fun ways that you can infuse tea into cocktails. You can use it as an ingredient in terms of brewing the tea and simply mixing it with the cocktail into the recipe, or making tinctures. And vaporizers that you can add sort of the aroma and essence of the tea. So I'm going to share with you the Earl Grey Martini. simple, and Earl Grey martini. And if that's not your jam, then let me introduce you to something else that I love, and that's making a compound butter. So lapsang souchong is one of the, I think, easiest, I'm going to say easiest, ways to use tea when you're cooking with tea. So matcha, which you saw Rona use in her energy bites, is great because it already comes in a powder form. But lapsang souchong is a black tea that's been dried over pine embers, and it's got this really gorgeous smokiness to it that lends itself really nicely to savory dishes. And a compound butter, well, it sounds fancy, and it's definitely fancy when you serve it to your guests, but I'm going to show you how simple it is to actually make. All right. So really as simple as grinding some spices, grinding the tea, mortar and pestle, as you saw Katie show you for her scrub, or you can use an electric mixer. Electric mixers are great. It's a really simple way to grind down spices. But an important thing to remember when you are using electric mixers is that if you use that grinder, sorry, not mixer, if you're using an electric grinder to grind down coffee, I don't recommend using it for your spices. I like to keep a separate grinder for my spices than I do for my coffee. Personally, I actually prefer the mortar and pestle. Mortar and pestles are heavy for a reason. Use the pressure to actually grind it down. So I know it's manual, but it's actually not as hard work as you may think it is. So with that, let me introduce to you our last guest, Anne Ricard. Anne is a certified tap tea sommelier professional and the co-owner of MysTea Sherbrooke, a specialty tea shop that was founded over a decade ago. Anne has prepared on, or has appeared on Dans l'œil du dragon, the French Dragon's Den, and just this year was awarded the Environmental Consciousness Trophy by the Chamber of Commerce of Eastern Township. All of MysTea's products are 100% natural, and the packaging, including Bumble My Tea glasses and straws, are recyclable and compostable. So with that, let me introduce to you Anne. Hello, Anne. How are you?
Hi, Shabnam. Fine, and you?
Nice to see you. I'm good, thank you. So,
I have a nice table. It smells incredible here.
I bet it does. You're going to have to tell us about it. So Anne is going to do one of the things that I love to do with tea, and clearly Oscar here agrees with me, and that's making spice blends. So take it away.
Yes. So I love cooking. I love tea. So I said, why not bring the both together, you know? So that's what I did with two of my favorite mixes that I did. So I have one type Asian spice, and I have one type that is smoked barbecue. So those are really different blends. And I'm going to show you how I make it, what are my base, and on what I put them, and how to do it at home. So maybe you can replicate or even go further and do your own mix at home. So it's really easy. I always start with a tea base. So my first ingredient is always tea.
Perfect.
The first one, the Asian one, has some taste of lemon and ginger. That's why I find it fits really well with Asian food and things like that. So it's that one. It smells so good. I'm kind of hungry now. So it's really, really nice. So my Asian spice, first ingredient is my favorite, the lemon green. It's a really simple green tea.
Great.
This is lemon green Chinese-based gunpowder. It's really, really good. It's kind of big leaf in it. So that's why I'm going to show you later. You're going to want to grind those and everything. But it's whole, completely whole. And the second ingredient is still green tea because I really love it. And I choose to make lemon matcha. And what is really cool about that is the lemon matcha has a little bit of organic sugar in it. So you're going to say sugar and spice? I said yes. To balance everything out, you need to add a little bit of sweet to balance the salt. So it's really important you always have one component that is a little bit sweeter than the others. So that's my sweet in that one. So the Asian, beside the green tea, lemon green and the matcha green, I did add some ginger. It's really goes well with all the lemon, all the orange and things like that. And I take always more possible whole ginger. If you have it dry, please take big pieces. I'll tell you why. When you buy spice that are already in powder, it loses flavor much more quickly. So you want to start your blend with most possible of whole ingredients. You can grind it in found powder after and gives you a much greater taste.
Right.
So with the ginger, the garlic, if you can have like a little garlic piece, it would be perfect. Of course, I'm in love with all kind of pepper. So you take the whole pepper. I take black pepper for that one. I have orange slices. If you can have a dry orange, it's really, really easy to find, actually. It's really good once you grind it because you use the skin also. So it gives you a little bitter taste and it goes really well with the rest. So that I love to put that. And the main ingredient, is, except for tea, is also you need to have salt. The salt that I like to use is the pink Himalayan salt. Is that what you say, Himalayan?
Yeah.
I'm French, so sometimes not perfect. Himalayan salt. If you can have it smoke Himalayan salt, it's going to be even better. It adds a little bit of punch to the recipe. And after all, the rosemary to give a little greenish herb taste. So what you do is it's really easy. Except for, let's say, the matcha that is already in powder, you put everything in a grinder. What you like to use is a coffee grinder. It's really good to put stuff in fine found powder. Or you have like sometimes little ninjas mixers that are also really good. So that's what you use. You put everything together and you just make it a mix. Really important things that maybe people don't know is when you put spice in a transparent container, let's say glass, you want it to be really, first of all, no air, so really airtight, and put it in the shelf, because if it's at the light would actually really limit and lower the taste of the spice quite quickly, actually. So what do I put my Asian spice with? This is one of my favorites, so I tried it so many kind. It pairs perfectly with chicken, any kind of white fish. But I also love it with tofu, because sometimes tofu, well, it doesn't taste anything. So you want to put something that really tastes a lot. So tofu is really good with that. But I also did sprinkle it on pasta or on my veggies just before I serve them, or on the barbecue. So I really like to do that. Two kind of ways that I use the spice is sprinkle them, rub them on my meat, or you can use them as a marinade. You just add a little bit of oil with your meat or tofu. You put the spices in a blend, you mix it, and you put it in the freezer for a few hours. It will be even more tastier.
Okay.
I'll take a sip. Take a hint, it's lemon green.
Yeah, good.
So my second one is the favorite of my dad. I made it for my dad at the beginning. It's really his favorite. And it's smoked barbecue spices.
Nice.
And most of the smoked barbecue are really nice. This one has a lot of smoked barbecue that remembers a little bit of bacon without having meat in it.
Right.
It's really nice. And the first ingredient is lapsang souchong.
Right. So, I was just talking about lapsang souchong before you came on.
it's really, really a specialty to drink like that. A lot of people drink it just like that, or even with milk and sugar, has its really special taste of campfire smoke. What they do is they take the tea and they put it on top of a fire, so it absorbs all the taste of the smoke.
Right.
So Lapsang Souchong is a black tea that is smoke, and it has really, really powerful scent of campfire. But in this case, we really want to have this one to have the smoke power of our spice. So it's still, again, in whole leaf like that. So you will grind it, and it's always better when it's in whole leaf. So main ingredient is the tea. When I go back to my pink Himalayan salt, and in this case, really try to find a smoked Himalayan salt, because it really adds to the flavor of the barbecue.
Right.
And it goes well with the paprika. I put chili. I put onions. If you can have like kind of whole onions like that, you can grind them later. It will be perfect. I have my pepper because I love it. And for the little sweet, I add some vanilla sugar. So it's a sugar that has been infused with vanilla pods.
Nice.
It gives a little extra taste. It pairs perfectly with the smoke, but we'll add the sweet to balance the salt of it. So that's, once again, it's a really fine powder once we've grinded. So you have it right here, and it pairs a little differently. Funny thing, this sprinkled on popcorn is amazing.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
nice.
I haven't thought about that. I made it specifically for red meat, wild meat, pork.
Yeah.
We made it really more of a raw thing on a steak and everything at the beginning, using it on the barbecue. But we started trying out on other things. Homemade pizza, sprinkle on the top, really good with the smoky flavor, and the tomato goes really well. The popcorn is an amazing taste.
I love that. I love savory popcorn, so that's a good one.
It's really, really good. The last thing is, pieces of cheese that we sprinkle on it. It's really good too with the cheese.
Nice. You could, you know what else it would be good with is roasting nuts.
Oh, that's something I did not try yet. Guess what I'm doing tonight? Try that. That's really nice. That's a really good idea. Yes. So your spice needs to be balanced a little bit with sugar, a lot of salt, and first ingredient will be all the time the tea. And after that, you can do that at home. What do you want? Those particular two flavors are available online, but you can do so many mix at home that I think your imagination is the limit right now.
Yeah, totally agree with you. I love those combinations, Anne. Lapsang Souchong, as I was saying earlier, is something, if it's your first time cooking with tea, Lapsang Souchong is a really good way to start, because it has a savoriness to it, because it's smoked, right? So it's got a smokiness to it. And any barbecue application that those flavors that you would use, you can integrate Lapsang Souchong into it. And it's a really, really good, easy way to get started with cooking with tea.
The Lapsang Souchong actually has like a special recipe to it that will smoke salmon without having smoked salmon. So it's like a mix of Lapsang Souchong and big pieces of salt that you put on the normal salmon, and it will become smoke. It's unbelievable for the taste transfers on the fish. It's really, really nice.
Great tips. It's so good to see you, Anne.
I'm happy to see you too, and your dog is so cute.
Well, Oscar decided that he wanted to be on stage with Mummy.
It's a good thing.
So this is Oscar Wilde, everybody. Sometimes it's better to not fight it and simply embrace him.
I know that, and it's a good idea.
Anyways, it was really good seeing you, Anne. Say hi to your dad, please.
Yes, I will.
Both of you.
Yep. And thank you for my little spices class. And go cooking, everyone.
Thanks for sharing those with us, Anne. It was good seeing you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, I think Oscar's done. He knows that I'm saying goodbye, and that's it. Bye-bye. He probably wants a treat now for his performance payment. Yes, Jennifer, you're absolutely right. I was upstage, so there you go. I just am looking at some of the chats. Andrea Weber, there's a name I haven't seen in a while. Hello, hello to all of you lovely people in the chat. Thank you so much for being a part of our first episode of Entertaining with Tea. We have 4 episodes for you. So next week, same time, same place. We'll be skipping 1 week in between, but then we'll do another 2 after that. Schedule is up on our social media platforms. Recipes will be all posted below the actual video on our YouTube channel. So hope you're inspired. I hope you try something, anything. And I hope you try something that you haven't tried before. I personally am definitely going to be making the energy bites because I love energy bites, as I said. And one thing that I have not done myself before, that's the sugar scrub. So that's one I'm definitely going to add to my list of things to try that I haven't done before. And then don't forget Tara's fabulous cards. Those are a great, great, great gift. Actually, all of these are a great gift, whether it's Itoen's Energy Bites, whether it's Tara's cards, or even, you know, the Orchard Sparkler that you want to make for a for an event that you're having. Katie's scrubs, or even Anne's tea spices that you can package up and gift out to your friends and your family, something a little bit different. So with that, I say thank you to all of you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.